So recently I asked people where, my content is, if they had any questions for me. I didn't get too many. And I did get one, which was, what do I plan to do with Ava in the long term, which is like group homes or, what's the long term plan? I'm going to upload this to other groups. It might be long. If it's not for you, feel free to delete it. But there's definitely a couple groups that I do rotate with on Facebook as well as my other forms of social media. So I'm going to say I've thought about it and haven't really thought about it because she's 8. I feel like 5 to 8 went so quickly, and I feel like a lot of it has to do with COVID, and the illusion that she's going to catch up is kind of no longer. So the fact that Ava is so far behind for an 8-year-old doesn't speak, does not bode well that she's going to miraculously just catch up to where she's supposed to be. Now, would I love that to happen? Am I still fighting for that to happen? Of course I am. But I also have to be optimistically realistic. I'm hoping the wind is not affecting this. I love my child, and I will take care of her till I can no longer take care of her for whatever reason or I die. Have I been thinking of long-term solutions of where she needs to go? No. Could she end up in a group home? Yes. But lucky for me, I have a friend who's worked at group homes for like 30 years, and she's like the most loving, but equally with my friend being loving and the best person I've ever seen at a group home and takes pride in dealing with her clients. I know there's abuses and I know there's other things that just are horror shows, and usually that has a lot to do with no family involvement. The problem is my family is very small and there's not a lot of us, and most of them are older than me. There's not even a whole lot of cousins, honestly, that we're close to or whatever, even the ones prior to Ava. Like, I feel like we're on great cousins at this point. So, the lapse of family and not really having any family is a big thing. I would love for, even if she does end up in a group home, that somebody is monitoring this group home, even if it can't. So with that, it's like my mental health can't take dealing with that right now. I mean, I've just got to be honest with you. Like, my mental health has definitely taken a beating for this whole journey of being a disability mom and all the people I have to fight with constantly for services or not discriminating against my child or just the lack of care. And that's with me fully alive and present, so I can just imagine what would happen if I died. And I really can't imagine that today. So I have a family member who's been sober for 40 years. So they definitely speak in AA speak, I'll say it. And AA speak, actually, the reason the program works is because it has a lot of truth to it. So, true AA speak, I'm going to have to say I need to take one day at a time. The one thing I did do, though, is because we talk about, me living a full life. What if I don't live a full life and I die early? So I have created a Medicare trust for Ava, meaning, and I feel this woman took me aside. I ran into her. She clearly had a special needs child, and she was going up the stairs slow, and she was like, "Oh, you can go around me." And I was like, "Oh no, you could. I got a special needs child too." So we end up in this seafood restaurant, it's like a takeout place, and she ends up talking to me, and she tells me, "You need a Medicaid trust." I didn't even know what that was. So now, knowing what it is, it did take me a while, but Ava has one. So I have elected guardians for her. Key to a Medicaid trust is if you leave your disabled child money, Now it looks like they have income and won't qualify for SSI or Medicaid or whatever. A Medicaid trust puts it in the trust. So if you get a life insurance policy, if you leave them assets or whatever, that the person you designate will manage the trust and they can only use it for their benefit. Like if they need shoes, if they want to get them a TV, they cannot give them the money directly, which is fine. So basically, I created a will and a trust that basically says whoever's her guardian, because I have one cousin as an option. If that's not an option, I have a second cousin who also has an autistic child. So hopefully that works out. All I can do is plan for what I have going on. So like on my life insurance policy, it is not left to her. It's left to the trust. So everything goes in the trust. Now this can be a pricey endeavor. It's cost me like $2,000 to do it. But they also have it on LegalZoom if you want to go that route and maybe have somebody review it, look over it, or, maybe legal aid. But, if you're trying to leave them anything, this is key. So pretty much, as I said, and excuse the wind, I did what I could do for today. I can't plan for something I can't foresee. They're not looking at group homes for an 8-year-old, so that's where my plan kind of begins and ends. I wish I had another child, not to take care of her, but to manage the group home, I feel would be a low expectation. That answers the question, and if anybody has any more questions about the Medicaid trust, what to do, but for me, I can only deal with what I can deal with at the moment, and that's mentally what I can deal with at the moment. You can only do what you can do.